So hi everyone. So this is our October Soaring Beyond Definitions call. And we're gonna have our French and Italian call right after this. So you can just jump off of this and go into that one. And you can find the information for that at the Empowering Light Language Facebook page under events. Or we can send you the quick one and put the link for that registration here in a moment. But thanks for so many questions. I have a Word doc here of different areas that people are asking questions about. But given that you are here in person, you get to be prioritized, and I will answer your questions first. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, I see that. Yeah, I'm checking and tinkering about your video and audio on my end, so hopefully it'll match up. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me okay.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. There's a message in the chat about connecting audio and video, so hopefully that'll work and you can benefit from this. But we're also going to send you the audio replay. So, and I think you had sent in a question. So thanks for letting me know about that. Gosh, I'm like buzzing. So I'm going to take a big deep breath and expand through all of this. Wow, wow, wow. So just to give you an idea of some of the things that people mentioned that they'd like more clarity and ease with, maybe some of this resonates with some of you. Somebody mentioned about business, relationships, and children. Someone else said relationships and money. Someone else said about being more present. Another person with business, future careers, creating beyond. I'm wondering if it's about creating beyond this reality, creating beyond their current situations. So if you're here and you'd have questions about that, more specific questions, let me know. Someone else had sent something about body and relationships. So the things that seem to be the loudest out of the ones that actually filled this out, I'll start there, is business and relationships. Which is funny because that is what the crew and I have been talking about all week. we're identifying that. So, and I'll tell you some of the things that we talked about and see if that resonates with you. So the person who sent in the question about figuring out what would be a possible future career. Well, when I was doing the Money Your Way group, and I'm actually going to make those videos and content available to everyone shortly. Thank you for your patience on that. But the Money Your Way group was all about adding to your current revenue streams while also acknowledging all of the different places that you're currently receiving money in all these different forms, not just actually cash, but like free dinners, vacations, gosh, you know, a free ride somewhere, these different things, that's all money. And then there's also the money through business. And one of the months that we did was seducing your business to make you more money. And given the themes of business and relationships that are speaking very loudly in a lot of your questions right now, is also we looked at one of the monthly themes was looking at, are your relationships making you money? And part of that is your relationship with yourself and your body and looking at that. And then part of that is also how you relate, how you connect or don't connect to the earth and to other people. And so one of the things that I was talking about with the crew this week, and that I look at all the time for myself, is, am I actually making sure that my body and my business are talking? And actually asking my body what it knows about business, what's actually going to work for my business, and then asking my business how it can more and more and more contribute to my body so that I can have ease with all the things that's required, be it being on the computer a lot with you lovely people, to being visible and vulnerable on videos and social media and talking about my life and what I've been choosing with money and business, to, okay, if I take those breaks, I was just talking with someone yesterday where I was looking at how movement and exercise and walking and how your different breath can actually inform you about what's going to work for you in business or not. So for the person that's asking about, so how can they identify what would be a good future career or the next career? I'll invite you to actually ask your body first. Body, what do you know about what's easy for us that maybe other people can't do, that I take it for granted that other people would be able to do? And so actually writing out a list of your current acknowledged gifts and capacities and seeing what are the careers, what are the projects, what are the creations, what are the people that are asking for that is a great place to start. So when I do my business coaching, and I do a lot of business coaching, and if you haven't gotten my free business ebook, email me, and with the subject line business ebook, I want it, and I'll send it to you, okay? But one of the things that in that ebook that I discuss is the 5 limiting beliefs that we can function from that can destroy business, including the business of living. And one of them is, if we're not willing to actually work with our bodies in business, it's a way more effortful, way more hustling, this lie of hustling that is so prevalent that we hear about all the time. You don't actually have to do all the hustling that you think you have to do. And as soon as I get into that space where I'm like a chicken with my head cut off and I'm running around all the time, then I know I'm actually not doing business my way. That's not going to be joyful. That's not going to be abundant. That's not going to make me money with ease instead of money through struggle. And we often see a lot of the people doing the money through business with so much more work. And it's been even more of a consideration right now, given that a lot of businesses have gone out of business, that they don't exist anymore. They've closed their doors, perhaps permanently. And so I was having a conversation even last night where some people are choosing to stay in jobs that they don't really want to be in anymore and stay in relationships, again, business and relationships, right? Where they don't want to be in anymore because they're worried about putting themselves out there in a job market of a peri-pandemic or post-pandemic, pre-pandemic. It's where it's all happening at once, job market. And maybe they don't have the skills that they feel like would be marketable, make them a better candidate for certain things. Maybe they just don't want to risk it. And so they're not putting themselves out there to even attempt to search, to consider other possibilities. And if it's one of those things about skills, well, maybe this is the time to start developing those skills or going back to school so that you can add the skills that you think you'd need for the jobs you'd like. But if you're not even sure of what you want to do at all, start with, what do you know? What are your gifts and capacities? And then keep asking and keep seeing what are the things that people are acknowledging you for, are admiring you for, are asking your advice about. Because a lot of things that I thought people would want to know from me or get from me is not actually what they want to hear from me about. It is a gift and capacity of mine, but if they're not asking me about it, if it's not a demand for it, if I'm not, and it's not looking for external validation, it's just like, there's a lot of gifts and capacities I have available to me. Which are the ones that are going to be the leader for the rest? Okay? And start with the acknowledgement piece. Let me know if any of that resonates for you since you sent in that question. And in the chat, somebody said, what about when some skills are easy, but we don't really enjoy doing it? Great question. How can you find the joy in those things that are really easy that make you money so that you can use that to then invest in the things that are more of a long-term thing? So one of the things that I often have to do as part of the joy of working with kids and families as a speech language pathologist, learning behavioral specialist, even my coaching positions, there's a lot of paperwork. I after my coaching sessions, after my speech and language sessions, I have soap notes to write up. I have to file stuff and send it to other entities and companies so they can submit insurance claims. I write up all the notes for my coaching sessions so the clients have highlights of what we talked about in the sessions and their homework all in one email without having to go in and listen to the audio recording again. this is a lot of administrative stuff that isn't so much fun for me. It's not what I really would rather be doing, but it's required. So then how can I make it more fun and joyful? That kind of drudgery part. And part of it is the gratitude, like, oh, wow, I just had this revolutionary change happen because of this session or what we did here. I get to work with this person, or I put on music, or I'm dancing while I'm doing the paperwork, or I know I'm going to give myself a little treat afterwards, like a glass of kava, or I'm going to go and eat somewhere yummy. So what are those things that are going to be, again, nurturing to your body, that you can tell your body, or you can ask your body, hey body, how can we make this more joyful? So as I'm doing this stuff that's easy, but not so fun, but that's going to make us money, because you're the one that needs the money, not me as an infinite being. Okay, what's going to work, body? And you might get a picture of something that you haven't even considered in your head from asking your body, what's going to make this more fun? Or what's going to make this more fun and quicker? Because sometimes that lack of enthusiasm makes it so that it takes so much longer than it needs to. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Okay, another comment here. There are jobs that my infinite being enjoys, but my body doesn't enjoy doing them, though my body knows how to do them. Ha ha, yes. Yeah, and that's one of those things that, and this is a personal choice. There's the short-term enjoyment, and then there's the long-term investment with the joy. And it's kind of toggling between those two. So is this going to be a short-term discomfort or short-term not so fun to get to the big fun? Like, oh, I'm not going to eat the same level of quality of food all the time because I'm saving money because I want to put this money toward a vacation or something like that. So I'll do what's required right now. That's not so great, but that's going to work for my body to an okay. It's going to be okay. We don't want total heavy, totally gross. Ugh, that's going to be like abusive to our bodies. But okay can be okay. It gets the job done, and then you get to have the exuberant joy part more and more and more because you're taking the steps now to have that more in your life, maybe in the near future or in the longer term future. And these are multiple things that are happening at once. There's multiple projects, there's multiple seeds being planted. It's not just one at a time, hopefully. And if you don't have multiple areas of your life that you're planting the seeds in, then maybe that's also something to look at. I love having it visually represented on my Google Calendar. And, you know, some of you that work with me, you see my Google Calendar where it's like a rainbow. And I have business appointments and clients in green, and then I have dates in pink, and I have family time in yellow, and I have social time with friends in blue. I'm giving you a sneak peek into this, and just also my OCD tendencies. But part of what also is helpful with that is when I see that it's really predominantly all work, all green. Yeah, green is money sometimes, but it's also not, it doesn't have that balance, the harmony that I'm looking for as a part of my life. But this is also given what I truly desire for my life. What do you truly desire as your life? Do you want it to be more a portion of one thing and then the other ones are more like sprinkles? Or do you want it to be kind of like pretty evenly spread out? Like, what is going to work for you? And please look at that for yourself and then take the actions and steps to have those ratios. So every like once a quarter or so, I actually go and I like do a pie chart. And some of you who have done coaching with me have done this exercise of the pie chart where I actually ask you to see how your life currently looks like. How much are you dividing your time over the course of a week? So not daily. Like, let's say an average week, how much of time is sleep, how much time is chores and errands, how much time is family stuff, how much time is friends, self-care, like working out, things like that, how much time is sex and dating and your relationship stuff, how much is your time just for you, just to watch a movie or meditate or do whatever. Like, you can divide it up in whatever way you'd like, and then see, is this how you'd actually really like it? And then I also do, what would I really like? And I see the difference. Is it totally different? Is it really far off? Or is it just a couple tweaks I need to make? And then am I willing to actually make those tweaks? Okay. So that is one thing to look at with that. Okay, and then yes, the infinite being versus body. So the other part with that too is the short term versus the long term. If it's a long term thing that is not going to work for your body, it's probably not going to work for you as an infinite being. If it's just these small doses where you can talk your body through and then it's going to end up being something that creates more long term, okay, cool. But over more and more, what I've been realizing, and I think what a lot of us are realizing with the pandemic and with a lot of other health things that are going on in the world that are becoming very glaringly obvious with environmental stuff, is that if we're not taking care of our bodies now, we don't have any guarantees if our bodies are going to be with us later. So what are the choices that we can make now that are an investment to that, to the bodies we'd like in the future? And also, gosh, there's so much here. I could talk forever about it, but I also want to get to these other questions too. It's also about like your life is now. And so if you actually would like to have something that includes your body and ease with your body, start taking those steps now to have it. The infinite being can do everything, anything and everything. But since you're choosing to have a body on this planet right now, what would it be like if you actually included your body's awareness continually in your creations, in what you choose? And it's going to contribute to the infinite being as well, instead of it being one or the other. And for many of us, we've been taught to have this conflict with our bodies, where you almost have to project your agenda of you as an infinite being, you as a person, onto your body. You're going to like force it to do whatever you want it to do, instead of asking, well, what's going to be created by that choice? And so going and feeling, okay, if I choose this, what's this going to create for my body, for me, for my business, for my relationships, or any other area of your life that you're looking at? All right. In the comments, great point. Sometimes I do not remember to ask my body about enjoying the tasks. Yeah. Like even the most menial, most boring of things. Like I learned this from my mom. If I'm bored, it's my fault. And not from like a shame, blame kind of thing. It's just, I have to look at, okay, so how can I make this more fun? Like, even if it's just 10% more fun, it's better than me being like, oh, total drudgery. Because there's a lot of, even the most joyful, awesome of jobs have components to it that can be challenging or that are not so fun. A lot of people see me doing all these things with business and having all these different businesses, and they think, oh, I just wake up and things just go pring and it happens. One, I have an amazing crew that supports me that I've slowly added to over the years, and I've gotten to a place where I can have a crew, because I couldn't have it in the beginning. I didn't have the money to pay people. I didn't have a business that had the complexity that was required. And I also probably wasn't willing to receive from other people as much as I'm willing to receive right now. So that's another factor. But there were so many things I had to do to get to this point, and that I'm still doing, as even having people that support me, that have my back, be it professionally and personally. And it's continued journey with us, y'all. Continued journey with us. All right. Let me know if there's any other questions for you all that are on live. When it comes to relationships, okay, so if you don't already have it on your radar, the Exuberantly You in Sex, Dating, and Relationships series, it's a year-long journey. It starts November 11th, and it's 12 calls, because it's only one call a month, 2 hours each month. The first call is free. So if you haven't signed up to participate in that first call to see what it could create for you, to contribute to you, I highly recommend that. But one of the things that I can say right now, for those of you that are sending in questions about relationships and what it's possible that's beyond this reality with relationships, is to look at, I love this exercise actually in the Beyond the Utopian Ideals book. This is the one that's popping right now. I have so many ideas, but this is the one that's like, boop, boop, boop. One, if you haven't read that book, highly recommend it. Beyond the Utopian Ideal is written by Gary M. Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness. And in that book, there's this great, It's actually, I'm mixing the two books. It's Divorceless Relationships. That's the other book that I've read of his that has this exercise. They connect, they supplement each other and complement each other very well. The exercise I'm referring to is actually writing down everything that you'd like to have in a partner, if you'd actually like to have a relationship, which not everyone wants one. Everything you truly desire to have in a partner. And I invite you to do this from a space of possibility, of energetics, of what you'd like to create and have together, not like, oh, I need them to have a Ferrari and I need them to have brown hair and blue eyes and look like Tom Cruise, or for them to have big boobs or a big butt, all these different things. Like that would be, you can have it as a preference, but like the real things, like, oh, I'd like us to have like dynamic conversations, or I'd like us to travel together. I'd like us to be both independent and enjoy each other's company. Like, what are the things you'd really like to have as a part of this relationship? And then just as important, very important, is to also write down all the things you have no desire to have in your relationship. Maybe you've learned what doesn't work for you in relationship from past relationships. Like, I don't want to date an addict anymore. I've done that, had a lot of addicts. I don't want to be having to facilitate and process them and like be their therapist. I want to just enjoy our time. I'd like someone like, oh, this is still the don't like. I have no interest in someone that's out of state. Like, I'm done doing long distance. Like, what is it for you that is not going to work for you anymore, given who you are now, and what would be fun? What would be easy? And are you actually willing for relationships to be fun and easy? That's a big I wonder. So that's the thing that's popping, giving the questions sent in about relationships. But if you guys have any other ones around that, go ahead and pop that in the chat. Okay, the be present. So that was just kind of like a topic that someone asked for more tools and clarity on. And but not like a specific question. So if I'm missing something with this, go ahead and let me know. But one of the biggest tools to get more present for me lately, and that I've been hearing has been really dynamic with people I've been talking to lately, is I've been giving these free 20-minute sessions of the living and dying body process that I created the last, what month is it? For the last month and a half. And it's been amazing. And one of the things that people have mentioned is that they're more present with their bodies. What? Yes. And also that they really get clear on when they're with their body and when they're floating above it or kind of zoned out and left. Maybe they've gone to another planet for a couple seconds. Maybe they just kind of are next to their body instead. Or they're kind of like overlapped. Like they're not really like this. And given that we're infinite beings, our bodies, it's kind of tricky to talk about this because we're bigger than our bodies, but we can be really creative, especially if we're really contracted and not as expanded as we could be as infinite beings. We can be really creative on the different ways that we create separation from our bodies. And so the living and dying body process not only helps you be more present with your body, but also invites you to co-create with your body, given you and your body's gifts and capacities with living and dying. What do you know about life and living? What do you know about death and dying? And what if you weren't at the effect of it anymore? How much easier would it be to be more present in your life and with your body? Yeah, that. So if you haven't already gotten a session from this, message me. I was doing the 20 minutes. It's a limit of one free 20-minute session per person. But there's also, if you haven't had a full session, I do deals. There's a $125 deal for a full 1 hour session. The first time you get a 1 hour session, the regular price is $300. So what would it create if you did that? Let me know if you're interested in that. But that's been one of the big ones that has been such a beautiful thing to contribute to people all over the world, where it's been so challenging, even for us that have toolboxes, vaults. I'm adding vaults now except I don't lock it up. I'm like, it's like a vault that has like permeable walls. A vault of tools, a toolbox of tools. Even with us that have all these ideas and strategies, it is a very challenging time. And so that's why I was like talking to the crew and I was like, how else can we contribute to people? And this is one of them. We have these calls with you. We're going to have them once a month, 30 minutes, just pack in as much tools and ideas and contribution as we can. You get the audio replay by email and you go from there. And then our next one is going to be, before I forget, it's going to be November 12th. La la la. Why is everyone's messaging me right now? Sorry. Okay. Yeah, November 12th. That's another Thursday. And we're just going to start 1 hour earlier, probably, given time zone differences. So check your emails about that, or also check the Facebook event page around that. But this is going to be for you. So you feel free to keep in touch. You don't have to wait until the next free call to email me, especially as you're starting to play with and implement these tools and strategies that we're talking about. And before our next call, we have an Awakening Your Capacities with Living and Dying class. So you can be a practitioner, you can add this to your repertoire, and all that's required is for you to have another person that's participating in the class in the same physical space as you to swap with, because we swap twice in the class. And so I will be streaming my facilitation from here, from Savannah, Georgia, wherever you are in the world. And if you have any questions about that, let me know. But thank you so much. Hopefully this was a contribution. We're going to go and pop out of here and go right into our next call, where we're going to be, I'll be speaking in English, but we'll have French and Italian translation. So if you want to participate in that, I'm actually going to pop that registration link right here for you. Give you a second to copy paste it and register if you'd like, and then I will meet you in that Zoom meeting room shortly. So that link is right here in the chat. So, and what's fun is that you can actually go ahead and receive in a different language. And sometimes it can be really powerful because you can't cognitize and like slow down things shifting and changing like you can when it's something in your own language. And it's fun for me to have other languages, but that's just me. So that is the link for that. And we'll also be having a call in Spanish. If you know anyone who speaks Spanish, that is going to be later this evening. That's going to be 6:30 Eastern. That's 11:30 p.m. UK and 12:30 in the morning for Italy and France. And then we also have that available Spanish, French, and Italian on November 12th. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for sending in your ideas and questions. And if you have any other questions, come and play next time. Bye for now.